Where in the world could this be? Or even when? Answer: Westcliff, mid-1960s. But fast forward almost 60 more years and this time capsule of a house built in the midst of the space race is home to the unique Viviers experience.
So as Lotus House is a collaborative space, but also a concept space, the main areas is from where you enter into the house to this main section, which I call the gallery section. So upstairs is very much where we interact with other collaborators and artists. And then we move downstairs, which is very much where everything gets made, the studio itself, where the factory side of it is.
Lezanne's clients want to invest in these limited edition clothes the same way that you invest in art.
So the studio was founded in April 2019, 2.5 years ago. The idea behind the brand was really to bring together all my different hobbies and interests. So from the arts to my love for textiles, to photography, just to generally like telling a story about South Africa. The new line, Aurora Lights, our latest collection, I think is perfect for the South African summer because it's so colorful. I think after 2 years of all of us really mourning COVID, mourning overconsumption, mourning all these things that are wrong with the world, spending a lot of time in our loungewear and our pajamas, we are coming to a point where there's optimism. And I think what a better way to express optimism than to use color, to use the sun. Portia's wearing a kaftan from our latest Spring-Summer Aurora collection. The whole textile is handwoven by local women in South Africa, using ostrich feathers from the Karoo, which is individually woven into the cotton. So this harlequin dress is a very good example of how we use off-cut materials to initiate a new design. So basically we took all the little scraps from other garments that we cut for the collection, and these scraps then became a new textile in itself to make something new.
Just a year on its feet when COVID hit, the brand was saved by this approach.
So James Barry and I are long-standing friends. We're also both Taurians, and Taurians have the element of earth.
I'm a multidisciplinary artist that works with stone predominantly. Lezanne and I agreed that one day we want to do something where we can play together, where both of our Taurian passions ignite. So automatically, jewelry was the next thing for us. The piece that I've got on is a found object that Lezanne found on a beach somewhere. So we like to take found objects and give it meaning as to artists.
As much of a showpiece, the studio and garden feature in decor mags as far as Germany.
So another way that Barry and I collaborated was on the gardens here. Barry is, of course, responsible for the incredible rocks and artifacts that were brought into the garden, as well as the ancient cacti. He has a knack for finding rare and unusual plants that are sculptural and architectural and just fascinating.
When we started with the garden, Lezanne and Walter had just purchased the property. The house had been standing empty for about 10 years and the garden was left completely overgrown. As you can see in the background, we just edited and brought in beautiful sculptural plants, mature specimen of cacti, rare and unusual indigenous bulbs. It is a beautiful, colorful blend of sculpture, architecture that complements the house. These stones were formed millions of years ago by a meteorite strike in the Nevada Pradesh region of India. It molded with the earth and formed these beautiful oval-shaped rocks in the riverbeds.
What arrived on Earth a long, long time ago continues to inspire new life and ideas. Among them, a line of designer light features by Lezanne's colleague, August de Wet.
So the way that August and I collaborated, we asked him to do all the lighting for the space.
Well, these lights were initially part of an installation, and it was inspired by the fence posts in the Karoo. So I kind of wanted to capture this idea of nightlife in the Karoo. And so what these things are is it's basically a big vertical element, and there's a front light component, and then there's a backlight component that faces onto a background wall, etc. And then I've used different kind of textural elements. So there's a piece of glass in here that kind of changes the texture of the light. By doing that, you create sort of a foreground and a background.
As a collector, you know, you're very specific as to what you include in your space. Every object, every artwork, every piece of furniture, and how those things that you choose to have within your space affect you on a day-to-day basis. The energy that it emits, does it make you feel happy? Does it make you question things? But at the end of the day, it's something as beautiful as a rock or a flower or anything of interest that I would see and collect and bring into the space, because that makes me smile in the morning when I wake up, you know?
Summer springs eternal in this fertile creative ground. Lezanne puts the planet front and center while still selling high-end design. She's a pathfinder, and we applaud her. Get more of the Insider SA online. Follow, connect, engage, and be inspired to live better with the Insider SA. Watch the show Monday evenings at 5:30. Repeat Saturday at 1 on S3.